Hey guys, tonight we're stepping back in time, way back to a land brimming with stories, where the past isn't just remembered but performed. Imagine dusty courtyards under a sky ablaze with stars, the rhythmic thrum of a kora, and the mesmerizing voice of someone who holds generations of memory within their mind. You're there, feeling the warm night air, smelling the distant cooking fires, and sensing the weight of a history that breathes and lives through a single voice. This isn't a quick Google search kind of history, oh no. This is the kind of history where if you blinked, you might miss an entire dynasty, or perhaps a truly juicy piece of ancient gossip. You probably won't survive this journey with your modern notions of data storage intact. Your brain will simply short-circuit trying to comprehend the sheer volume. So, before you get comfortable, take a moment to like the video and subscribe, but only if you genuinely enjoy what I do here. And hey, let me know in the comments where you're tuning in from and what time it is for you right now. Now, dim the lights, maybe turn on a fan for that soft background hum, and let's ease into tonight's journey together. You find yourself transported, not just in time but in spirit, to the vibrant heart of West Africa. The sun, a golden orb, dips below the horizon, casting long purple shadows across the savanna. The air, still warm from the day's heat, begins to cool, carrying the scent of wood smoke and the distant bleating of goats. You are in a village, a cluster of mud brick homes with thatched roofs, nestled among baobab trees that stand like ancient sentinels. The hum of daily life slowly fades, replaced by the excited chatter of children and the low murmur of adults gathering. Tonight is special. Tonight, a griot will speak. You settle onto a woven mat, the rough fibers tickling your bare legs. Around you, faces emerge from the deepening twilight, eyes gleaming with anticipation. These aren't just listeners, they are participants in a living tradition, a collective memory brought to life. A figure emerges from the shadows, an elder with eyes that seem to hold the wisdom of centuries. This is the griot, a master storyteller, musician, praise singer, and yes, a walking, breathing archive of history, genealogy, and all the juicy bits in between. You notice the kora, a 21-stringed instrument resting in their lap. Its gored body, covered with a stretched animal hide, promises melodies as ancient as the land itself. The griot clears their throat, a small sound that nonetheless hushes the gathering. A hush falls over the village, broken only by the chirping of crickets and the rustle of leaves in the gentle breeze. You feel a prickle of goosebumps on your arms, not from the cooling air, but from the palpable sense of reverence that permeates the space. This is not entertainment, not merely a performance. This is the very fabric of their society, woven from words and memory. Now let's talk about memory, because that's what this entire saga hinges upon. How, in a pre-literate society, did individuals manage to retain such vast amounts of complex information, spanning generations of lineage, wars, triumphs, betrayals, and even the occasional royal scandal that would make modern tabloids blush? This isn't just remembering a grocery list. This is an entire cultural encyclopedia, committed to the most unreliable of storage devices, the human brain. Historians still argue about the precise mnemonic techniques employed by griots, but most agree that a combination of musical accompaniment, rhythmic recitation, and an intricate system of verbal cues played a crucial role. It's like trying to remember all the lines to a Shakespeare play, except the play keeps changing based on who's asking, and the audience demands a new subplot about a forgotten cousin. It's a lot, right? Consider for a moment the sheer volume. Imagine trying to memorize the entire Wikipedia entry for history of the Mali Empire. then every single family tree of every notable family within that empire, then every major battle, treaty, and diplomatic squabble. Now, add to that the individual stories, the quirks of personality, the alliances made and broken, the clever tricks, and the embarrassing blunders. It's enough to make your internal hard drive crash. The griots, however, had a system. They used repetition, yes, but not just rote memorization. They wove their narratives into song, into poetry, into proverbs. Each piece of information was given a rhythmic beat, a musical hook, making it stick in the memory like a catchy tune. It's like those annoying jingles that get stuck in your head, except instead of selling car insurance, they're preserving the legacy of an ancient king. Pretty clever, actually. One mainstream historical fact you should know about West African griots is their integral role in the Mali Empire, which flourished from the 13th to the 17th century. The griots were no just chroniclers. They were also advisors to kings, diplomats, and even arbiters of disputes. They held immense power because they held the collective memory. If you wanted to know your rights, your lineage, or the history of a land dispute, you went to the griot. They were the original search engines, only much slower and with significantly more dramatic pauses. A quirky tidbit. Well, there's a legend that some griots could recite a lineage so long that it would take days, even weeks, to complete. Imagine sitting through that. You'd need a serious supply of snacks and maybe a really comfortable cushion. And they weren't just reciting names. They were giving you the personality of each ancestor, their triumphs, their failures, their secret love affairs. And then there was Mansa Musa's eccentric cousin, who, it is said, preferred to communicate solely through interpretive dance after a particularly strong batch of palm wine. You can practically see the eye rolls from the ancient audience. It's truly amazing the level of detail they preserved. The griot begins to speak, their voice a low rumble, then rising, falling, imbued with a cadence that draws you in. You don't understand the specific words, but the rhythm, the intonation, tells a story all its own. They start with the creation myths, the very origins of their people, painting vivid images of primordial spirits and the first stirrings of life. You feel a sense of profound connection, not just to this moment, but to the countless generations who have sat in this very spot, listening to these very tales. It's a continuity that transcends time. As the narrative unfolds, you notice the griot's hands, not just playing the kora, but gesturing, emphasizing points, their fingers dancing through the air as if painting the scenes before you. Their body language is as much a part of the storytelling as their voice. Every muscle, every expression, contributes to the unfolding drama. You realize that this isn't just information being conveyed. It's an experience being shared, a cultural heritage being passed down from one generation to the next, not through dusty books, but through the vibrant, living breath of a human being. It's like watching a movie, but the movie is entirely in your mind, guided by the griot's masterful narration. The process of training a griot began at a very young age. Children identified with a natural aptitude for memory and performance would be apprenticed to an elder griot. This wasn't a casual after-school activity. It was an intensive, lifelong commitment. They would spend years listening, observing, and then slowly, painstakingly, beginning to internalize the vast repertoire of their master. It's like trying to become a world-class athlete, a concert pianist, and a human encyclopedia all at once. The dedication is truly staggering. One could say their education was less about passing exams and more about passing on entire civilizations. If only our history classes were this captivating, maybe we'd all remember more than just 1492. The tales weren't just about kings and battles. Oh no. Griots also preserved the smaller, more intimate stories of families, the petty squabbles, the triumphs of ordinary people. They were the community gossips, but in the best possible way. Imagine the historical equivalent of a celebrity gossip magazine, but instead of the latest pop star, it's about the scandalous affair of a noble's cousin 5 centuries ago. And everyone in the village would know it because the griot would tell it. This added a layer of richness and relatability to their historical accounts, making the past feel not so distant, but intimately connected to the present. You might even hear a story about a distant ancestor of someone sitting next to you, and the ripples of recognition and knowing glances would pass through the crowd. The power of the griot's words wasn't just in their content, but in their context. Their performances were often communal events, fostering a shared understanding of history and identity. This wasn't just about entertainment. It was about solidifying social bonds, reinforcing cultural values, and providing a framework for understanding the present through the lens of the past. It's a bit like a giant, very serious family reunion, but instead of awkward small talk, you get epic tales of heroism and the occasional anecdote about someone's great-great-great-aunt who tried to smuggle a goat into the palace. These stories, both grand and small, shaped who they were. As the griot continues, the night deepens. The stars, unobscured by city lights, begin to prickle the inky sky, forming constellations that seem to echo the patterns of the stories being told. You feel a profound sense of peace settle over you, a comfort in the rhythm of the voice, the gentle strumming of the kora, and the collective presence of those around you. You are part of something ancient, something enduring, something that reminds you of the remarkable capacity of human memory and the enduring power of storytelling. The sounds around you begin to fade. Your eyelids feel heavy. You drift, carried on the gentle current of the griot's voice, deeper and deeper into the annals of time. You are still there, under the vast West African sky, the rhythmic drone of the kora now a soft hum in your ears, the griot's voice a continuous flowing stream. The stories aren't just narratives. They are living entities, breathing and shifting with each telling. This isn't a fixed text. It's a dynamic tapestry woven and rewoven, adapted to the audience, the occasion, and even the mood of the griot themselves. Imagine trying to keep track of 1,000 different versions of the same epic poem, all while ensuring the core facts remain intact. It's enough to make a modern archivist weep. The griot's training was rigorous, a process that went far beyond mere memorization. They weren't just human tape recorders. They were performers, orators, and skilled improvisers. They had to be able to recall vast amounts of information on demand, but also adapt it to the specific needs of their audience. If a powerful family requested their lineage, the griot would emphasize the heroic deeds of their ancestors. If a community was struggling with a drought, the griot might recount tales of resilience and divine favor during past hardships. It was a masterclass in audience engagement, long before anyone ever conceived of a YouTube algorithm. You could say they were the original personalization engines, tailoring history to suit the moment. The concept of truth in griotic tradition is also fascinating and something historians often grapple with. Was their history strictly factual in the way a modern historian would define it? Not always. Griots often embellished, added poetic flourishes, and even strategically omitted details to serve a particular purpose, to praise a patron, to reinforce social norms, or to mend a rift in the community. This isn't to say they were deliberately fabricating history, but rather that their understanding of truth was more fluid, more about conveying deeper moral or social lessons than adhering to a strict, verifiable chronology. It's like your eccentric aunt telling family stories, where the fish keeps getting bigger with each retelling, but the core lesson about perseverance remains. One mainstream historical fact about griots is their hereditary nature. The role of a griot was typically passed down through specific families, known as jelly in the Mende languages. This wasn't a career choice. It was a birthright and a sacred duty. You were born into it, and your life's purpose was to uphold and transmit the collective memory of your people. Imagine having your entire professional path determined by your last name. No career changes, no midlife crises, just generations of dedicated storytelling. Oh, you're a jelly. So, what's the latest on the 15th century trade disputes? A quirky tidbit. Some griots were renowned for their ability to deliver spontaneous praises, often incorporating intricate wordplay and witty rhymes, all on the spot. If you wanted to really flatter someone, you'd commission a griot to sing your praises, highlighting your virtues and accomplishments in glorious detail. It was the ancient equivalent of a personalized, lyrical LinkedIn endorsement, only way more impressive. And if you weren't feeling so virtuous, well, the griot might subtly remind everyone of that one time you tripped over your own feet in front of the chief. Just a little historical nudge. The scholarly debate often centers on the reliability of griotic accounts as primary historical sources. While invaluable for understanding West African societies, the question remains: how much can we trust details that have been transmitted orally for centuries, often with poetic license applied? Some scholars argue for careful cross-referencing with archaeological evidence and external written accounts, like those from Arab travelers. Others contend that dismissing griotic narratives simply because they are oral ignores their profound cultural significance and inherent methods of verification within their own tradition. It's a bit like trying to decide if your grandma's legendary recipe is authentic, if she improvises a little with the spices each time. The essence is there, but the exact measurements might vary. You shift slightly on your mat, the coolness of the night air a pleasant contrast to the earlier warmth. The griot's voice has taken on a slightly more somber tone, perhaps recounting a period of hardship or conflict. You feel the collective weight of the past, the echoes of struggles and triumphs. Even without understanding the specific words, the emotions are palpable: grief, triumph, despair, hope. It's a testament to the griot's artistry, their ability to convey meaning through tone and rhythm alone. You find yourself leaning forward, doctor, on deeper into the narrative, almost forgetting where you are. The memory techniques employed by griots were not simply about rote memorization. They were highly sophisticated systems, often incorporating visual imagery, mnemonic devices, and even specific gestures or melodies associated with particular events or lineages. Imagine having a mental palace where each room holds a different historical era, and within each room, specific objects trigger memories of individuals, events, or relationships. It's a level of mental organization that would put most modern filing systems to shame. They were the original memory athletes, but their prizes were the preservation of an entire civilization's heritage. The training of a young griot often involved long, solitary periods of reflection and memorization, sometimes in secluded natural settings. This wasn't just about quiet study. It was about forging a deep, almost spiritual connection with the stories themselves, allowing them to seep into their very being. They weren't just learning facts, they were embodying history. It's a bit like a method actor preparing for a role, but the role is the entire history of their people. They truly lived the stories they told. The griots were also masters of performance. They understood the power of pacing, pauses, and dramatic delivery. They knew when to accelerate the narrative, when to slow it down for emphasis, and when to insert a moment of humorous relief. Their performances were captivating, engaging their audiences for hours on end, often through the night. You wouldn't find anyone scrolling on their phones during a griot's performance. The only light was from the moon, the only sound was their voice and the kora, and the only connection was between storyteller and listener. It was true immersion, long before VR was even a glimmer in anyone's eye. The tradition of griots is still alive today, though it has adapted to modern times. You can find griots performing at festivals, family gatherings, and even on YouTube. While their role has evolved, their fundamental purpose remains the same: to preserve and transmit the history and culture of their people through the power of oral tradition. It's a beautiful example of cultural resilience, a living link to an ancient past. They are reminders that some of the most profound knowledge isn't stored in silicon chips, but in the intricate neural pathways of the human mind. The soft breeze rustles the leaves of the baobab tree, a gentle lullaby accompanying the griot's voice. Your eyelids are heavy, but your mind is full, saturated with the echoes of history. You feel the pull of sleep, a peaceful surrender to the ancient rhythm of the night. The griot's voice now feels like a gentle current, carrying you further down the river of time. You're no longer merely observing. You feel woven into the fabric of the narrative, a silent participant in the unfolding of history. The kora's melody, once a distinct presence, has seamlessly merged with the storytelling, becoming the very pulse of the past. It's a truly immersive experience, far more profound than any documentary or textbook could offer. Think about the sheer cognitive load involved here. Imagine having an entire encyclopedia not just memorized, but categorized, cross-referenced, and instantly retrievable. This isn't just remembering names and dates. It's understanding the intricate web of relationships, the motivations behind actions, and the long-term consequences of decisions. It's having a living, breathing social graph of centuries of human interaction in your head, and then being able to present it in an engaging and relevant way, on demand. It's a feat of mental agility that truly boggles the modern mind, accustomed as it is to instant digital recall. It's like being Google, but with a much better singing voice and no annoying ads. The griot's memory wasn't just a passive storage system. It was an active, interpretive one. They didn't just recite. They analyzed, they commented, and they drew lessons from the past that were relevant to the present. They were not merely chroniclers. They were cultural philosophers, using historical narratives to impart wisdom and guide their communities. This deeper layer of understanding is what truly distinguished a great griot from a merely competent one. They weren't just telling you what happened, but why it mattered. A mainstream historical fact: griots were often present at important political gatherings, such as coronations, treaties, and council meetings. Their role wasn't just ceremonial. They acted as living records, able to recite precedents, remind leaders of past agreements, and even mediate disputes by referencing historical grievances or alliances. They were the ultimate fact-checkers, with the added benefit of being incredibly persuasive. Imagine trying to argue with someone who could instantly recall every single argument you've ever made, and every counter-argument. tea from your ancestors for the past 5 centuries. Good luck winning that debate. A quirky tidbit. It's said that some griots had specific memory paths they would walk through in their minds, literally visualizing journeys through mental landscapes to access different parts of their vast knowledge. Each landmark, each turn in the path, would trigger a specific memory or narrative thread. It's like a personalized, internal Wikipedia, but instead of clicking links, you're mentally strolling through a beautifully constructed narrative labyrinth. And unlike Wikipedia, you can't get lost down a rabbit hole about obscure medieval pottery. Probably. The scholarly debate often revolves around the degree of artistic license griots took with their historical accounts. While they strived for accuracy within their own cultural framework, the emphasis on storytelling and performance meant that details might be shaped to enhance dramatic effect or moral impact. How do we distinguish between historical fact and poetic embellishment in these oral traditions? It's a complex puzzle, requiring careful consideration of cultural context and the inherent nature of oral transmission. It's like trying to figure out if your friend's story about catching a fish was an honest account, or if the fish grew 3 sizes between the telling and the actual catch. The core truth might be there, but the details, well, they might have gotten a little amplified. You feel a profound respect for these custodians of memory. In a world saturated with information, where we outsource our recall to devices and cloud storage, the griots stand as a powerful reminder of the incredible capacity of the human mind when honed and cultivated over generations. They are living libraries, each with a unique collection of tales and wisdom, passed down through the most ancient and intimate of technologies, the spoken word. It makes you wonder what we might be losing by relying so heavily on external memory aids. Perhaps a part of our own mental muscle is atrophying. The griot's voice has become softer, more like a lullaby now. The chora's notes are fewer, more lingering, like drops of dew falling in the stillness of the night. You are aware of the subtle shift in the air, the gentle cooling, the faint scent of dew on dry earth. The stories are still flowing, but their urgency has lessened, replaced by a quiet unfolding, a peaceful continuation of ancient narratives that have settled into the very ground beneath you. The preservation methods employed by griots were incredibly resilient. Unlike written texts, which can be destroyed by fire, flood, or neglect, oral traditions could persist even in the face of immense societal upheaval. As long as there were griots to remember and new generations to learn, the history endured. It's a truly robust form of archiving, relying not on physical objects, but on the living, breathing human spirit. Talk about a decentralized network. No single point of failure here, just a constant living stream of knowledge. You can't hack a griot, though you might get a particularly scathing praise song if you try. The importance of the griot extended beyond just history. They were also the bearers of cultural identity, the guardians of traditions, customs, and social norms. Their stories reinforced what it meant to be a member of their community, what was valued, what was shunned, and how one should navigate the complexities of life. They were the moral compass, the social glue, and the entertainment committee all rolled into one. It's a pretty demanding job description, especially if you're also expected to remember everyone's cousin twice removed and their favorite color. The training process for a griot was often shrouded in secrecy, passed down within the family through generations. There were specific rituals and practices designed to enhance memory, focus, and performance skills. These might include long periods of meditation, specific dietary restrictions, or even exposure to challenging environments to build mental resilience. It wasn't just about learning the stories. It was about transforming oneself into a vessel worthy of carrying such immense historical and cultural weight. It was a holistic education, a true mind-body-spirit approach to preserving the past. You imagine the countless nights like this one, stretching back through time, where generations have gathered under the same stars, listening to the same ancient echoes. The continuity is breathtaking, a tangible link to a past that, for a fleeting moment, feels utterly present. The world outside, with its frantic pace and digital noise, seems distant, irrelevant. Here, in the quiet embrace of the West African night, only the griot's voice matters, weaving its spell, preparing you for a deep, history-laden slumber. The kora's final notes fade, leaving only the soft hum of crickets and the gentle rhythm of your own breathing. The griot's voice has now become a S. Oft murmur, like a gentle stream flowing over smooth stones, carrying fragments of ancient tales into your consciousness. You're floating, suspended in a liminal space between waking and sleeping, where history and dream intertwine. The details of the stories may blur, but the essence, the feeling, the sheer weight of generations of human experience remains. This is where memory truly becomes magic. Think about the sheer dedication required. A griot didn't just learn a few stories. They embodied the entire cultural memory of their people. They were responsible for maintaining a vast, interconnected web of information that stretched back centuries. This wasn't a hobby. It was a lifelong commitment, a sacred trust passed down through generations. Imagine dedicating your entire life to learning every single piece of information ever created by your ancestors, and then being able to recall it perfectly at any given moment. It makes your high school history class seem like a walk in the park, with significantly less pressure. The oral tradition of griots was also incredibly adaptable. Unlike written records, which can be rigid and difficult to update, oral narratives could be subtly reshaped to reflect changing social or political realities, while still preserving the core historical truth. This flexibility allowed the tradition to remain relevant and responsive to the needs of the community over vast periods of time. It's like having a living, breathing history book that can seamlessly integrate new chapters and subtly revise old ones, all without needing an errata slip. A mainstream historical fact is that the griot's role often included acting as genealogists, meticulously tracing family lines and alliances for important figures and even ordinary citizens. This wasn't just for curiosity. Knowing your lineage was crucial for understanding your social standing, your rights, and your obligations within the community. They were the ultimate Ancestry.com, but without the awkward DNA test results. Imagine trying to explain your family tree to someone who then proceeds to tell you the entire history of every branch of it, including that one cousin who ran off with the blacksmith's daughter. A quirky tidbit: some griots were believed to possess a mystical connection to the past, capable of channeling the spirits of ancestors through their narratives. This added an extra layer of awe and reverence to their performances, making them not just storytellers but conduits to the wisdom of ages. It's like having a historical medium, but instead of predicting the future, they're just really, really good at remembering the past, and probably a lot less prone to charging exorbitant fees. The scholarly debate often centers on the potential for bias in griotic narratives. As praised singers and advisors to powerful figures, griots might have presented history in a way that flattered their patrons or downplayed inconvenient truths. How do we account for these potential biases when using griotic accounts as historical sources? It requires careful critical analysis, cross-referencing, and an understanding of the social and political context in which the narratives were created. It's like reading a glowing review of a restaurant written by the owner. You know there's likely some truth there, but you'd probably want to check out some independent reviews too, just in case. You feel the peaceful descent into sleep, the stories fading into a soft hum. The griot's voice, once so distinct, now blends with the gentle sounds of the night, the rustle of leaves, the distant call of an owl, the steady beat of your own heart. It's a deeply soothing sensation, knowing that these ancient narratives, these memories of generations past, are still alive, still being told, even as you drift away. The mnemonic techniques used by griots were highly sophisticated, often incorporating intricate rhyming schemes, alliteration, and specific melodic patterns that aided recall. They understood the power of rhythm and sound to embed information deeply within the memory. It's similar to how we remember song lyrics much more easily than prose. The music acts as a powerful mnemonic hook. Imagine trying to remember a historical timeline, but each event has its own catchy jingle. You'd never forget a battle again, though you might hum it inappropriately during a serious meeting. The social role of the griot was multifaceted. They were not only historians and genealogists, but also musicians, poets, and sometimes even diplomats or mediators. Their unique position, as custodians of collective memory, gave them a special authority and influence within their communities. They were the original multi-hyphenates, excelling in a wide array of skills, all centered around the art of storytelling and memory. And unlike modern influencers, their influence actually mattered beyond their follower count. The selection of a griot was not arbitrary. Families with a long line. Each of griots would identify children with exceptional memory, verbal fluency, and musical aptitude from a very young age. These chosen few would then undergo years of rigorous training, often involving extensive travel to learn from other griots and broaden their repertoire. It was an apprenticeship that spanned decades, transforming them into living repositories of their culture. It's like being recruited into an elite secret society, but instead of secret handshakes, you just have to remember every single detail of your entire history, which, honestly, sounds harder. The narratives themselves often contained elements of myth, legend, and historical fact intertwined. This wasn't seen as a contradiction, but as a reflection of a holistic worldview where the spiritual and the material, the past and the present, were deeply interconnected. The stories served not just to inform, but to inspire, to teach moral lessons, and to reinforce cultural values. They were the ultimate holistic education, delivered through the power of narrative. It's a reminder that history isn't just about dates and names. It's about the human experience in all its complexity. As you succumb to the embrace of sleep, you carry with you a newfound appreciation for the power of human memory and the enduring legacy of West African griots. Their voices echo through time, a testament to the resilience of culture and the profound importance of knowing where you come from. The gentle hum of the fan, the softness of your pillow, and the distant sounds of the night merge into a peaceful symphony, lulling you deeper into a restorative slumber. You are safe, you are warm, and the echoes of history are your lullaby. You are now in a deep, peaceful drift, the griot's words no longer forming distinct narratives, but rather a soothing, continuous presence, like the steady rhythm of waves on a distant shore. The memory of the chora's strings vibrating against the gourd resonates gently within you, a soft hum that reinforces the profound connection between music and memory. It's a beautiful dance between sound and story, perfectly choreographed for your journey into sleep. Consider for a moment the incredible mental architecture required to not just store but access such a vast amount of data. This isn't just a linear timeline. It's a multi-dimensional matrix of interconnected events, personalities, and relationships. Imagine needing to instantly jump from a specific battle in the 14th century to a particular lineage dispute in the 16th, and then back to a humorous anecdote about a specific family member from the 13th. All without a search bar or a table of contents. It's like having an entire library in your head and knowing exactly where every single piece of information is located, simply by thinking of it. Your internal librarian must have been exceptionally organized, or perhaps slightly overwhelmed. The griot's role wasn't just about reciting history, it was about interpreting it for the present generation. They acted as cultural navigators, helping their communities understand their identity and place in the world by drawing lessons from the past. They were the living bridge between what was and what is, ensuring that the wisdom of ancestors continued to guide the present. It's a remarkable responsibility, akin to being the designated storyteller for an entire civilization, with the added pressure of ensuring everyone learns the right moral from the tale. A mainstream historical fact, griots were often compensated for their services, not always with money, but with gifts of livestock, food, or other valuable commodities. This ensured their livelihood and allowed them to dedicate their lives to their craft. It was a societal recognition of the immense value they provided, a tangible acknowledgement that memory and history were indeed precious resources. Imagine paying your historian in goats. It certainly adds a unique flavor to academic funding. A quirky tidbit. Some griots would subtly incorporate the names of influential or wealthy individuals in their audience into their praise songs, often with exaggerated compliments, hoping to prompt a generous gift. It was a delicate art of subtle flattery and strategic improvisation, a bit like a medieval infomercial, but with much more poetic language and significantly less aggressive sales tactics. And then there was the noble who, with a generosity that shamed the very sun, offered a magnificent tribute to the griot for his unparalleled wisdom. You can practically hear the clinking of coins. The scholarly debate sometimes focuses on the evolution of griotic traditions over time. How much have these narratives changed and adapted through centuries of oral transmission, and how much has been preserved in its original form? This question is particularly challenging because there are no definitive, original texts to compare against. It requires sophisticated linguistic analysis and a deep understanding of cultural dynamics to trace these transformations. It's like playing a centuries-long game of telephone, where the message is incredibly important, and everyone is trying their best to convey it accurately, but minor alterations are inevitable. You are wrapped in a comforting blanket of sound, the remnants of the griot stories dissolving into a sense of profound calm. The air around you feels cool and fresh, a gentle breeze rustling through unseen leaves. You feel utterly safe, cradled by the ancient rhythms of the earth and the timeless echoes of human experience. The training of a griot was not just about intellectual prowess. It also involved developing exceptional vocal control, breath support, and musical skill. They had to be able to perform for hours, maintaining clear articulation and engaging their audience with their delivery. It was as much a physical challenge as a mental one. Imagine singing for 8 hours straight, while also remembering 1,000 years of history. Your vocal cords would need a vacation, and possibly a very strong cup of tea. The griot memory techniques were often highly personalized, tailored to the individual's cognitive strengths. Some might rely more heavily on visual imagery, others on auditory cues, and still others on kinesthetic associations, linking memories to specific movements or gestures. This adaptability meant that the system was incredibly robust, capable of accommodating different learning styles within the griot lineage. It was truly a bespoke education system, designed for optimal knowledge transfer, long before anyone ever thought of learning styles quizzes. The stories told by griots were not just about the grand sweep of history, but also about the intricacies of daily life, the moral dilemmas faced by ordinary people, and the timeless human emotions of love, loss, joy, and sorrow. This relatability made the history immediate and meaningful to their audiences, ensuring that the past wasn't just a collection of dusty facts, but a vibrant source of wisdom and empathy. They were the original reality TV, but with much better plots and significantly more historical accuracy. The tradition of oral history, as embodied by the griots, highlights the power of shared cultural memory in shaping identity. When a community collectively remembers its past, it strengthens its sense of belonging, its resilience, and its capacity to navigate the future. It's a powerful reminder that history is not just something to be studied. It is something to be lived, to be felt, and to be passed on breath by breath, story by story. As you drift deeper into sleep, the griot's voice fades entirely, leaving only a gentle quietness. You are enveloped in darkness, a comforting embrace that welcomes true rest. The world outside recedes, and you are left with only the soft hum of your own peace, a quiet warmth spreading through your limbs. Sleep comes easily, a soft, welcoming blanket. You are now submerged in the soft depths of sleep, yet a faint echo of the griot's voice still resonates, like a distant whisper carried on the wind. The chora's gentle notes drift through your dreams, creating a tapestry of sound that is both ancient and eternally soothing. This deep, profound connection to history, woven through the very fabric of sound and story, cradles you. Think about the concept of living libraries. Griots were not merely repositories of information. They were active interpreters and performers of that information. Their memory was not static. It was dynamic, constantly being accessed, reinterpreted, and presented anew. This contrasts sharply with our modern concept of a library, which is typically a collection of fixed, immutable texts. Imagine a library where the books could speak, and not only that, but they could also argue with each other, tell jokes, and adapt their stories to your personal preferences. That's essentially what a griot was. The griot's influence extended far beyond their storytelling. They were cultural custodians, preserving not just historical narratives but also ethical principles, social norms, and the very philosophical underpinnings of their societies. Their performances were often didactic, designed to transmit wisdom and reinforce communal values, disguised within compelling narratives. It was moral education by stealth, much more effective than a dull lecture. And then the hyena, through his greed, lost all his teeth. A valuable lesson, don't you think, about proper financial planning? A mainstream historical fact is that the griot tradition is found across various West African ethnic groups, including the Mandinka, Fula, Wolof, and Soninke, each with their own specific names for these revered storytellers, like Jelly, Gallo, or Gule. While the practices varied, the fundamental role of preserving history and culture through oral tradition remained consistent across these diverse groups. It's like having different dialects of the same incredibly important language, the language of memory. A quirky tidbit: some griots were known for their biting wit and satirical commentary. They could, with a well-placed joke or a subtle jab, critique powerful figures or highlight societal absurdities without overtly challenging authority. It was a sophisticated form of social commentary, often delivered with a twinkle in their eye, allowing them to speak truth to power in a way that others couldn't. Imagine a late-night comedian, but their jokes are about the king's questionable tax policies 5 centuries ago, and everyone gets the subtle historical reference. The scholarly debate continues regarding the specific origins of the griot tradition. While its roots are undoubtedly ancient, pinpointing a precise genesis is challenging. Some theories suggest a connection to ancient bards or praise singers, while others emphasize the unique social and political structures of West African societies that allowed this tradition to flourish. It's like trying to find the exact moment when humans started telling stories around a campfire. It's likely lost to the mists of time, but its enduring power is undeniable. You are now completely relaxed, sinking deeper into the warmth of your bed. The soft sounds of the night cradle you, and any lingering thoughts or worries gently dissipate, replaced by a profound sense of peace. The image of the griot and their kora fades into a comforting blur, leaving only the tranquil essence of their ancient wisdom. The memorization techniques involved not just verbal repetition, but also a strong emphasis on auditory cues, such as specific melodic phrases or rhythmic patterns associated with different sections of a narrative. This created a rich, multisensory memory system, making the information more deeply embedded and easily retrievable. It's like having a mental soundtrack for your entire historical archive, where each track immediately brings up a specific set of facts and stories. Much more engaging than a simple index. The apprenticeship of a griot was an incredibly immersive experience. Young apprentices would spend virtually every waking moment with their master, absorbing not just the stories, but also the nuances of performance, the proper etiquette, and the profound responsibilities that came with the role. It was a total education, a complete submersion into a world built on the power of memory and the spoken word. There were no textbooks or lectures, just endless listening and careful emulation. The narratives themselves were highly structured, often following specific patterns or formulas that aided memorization and recall. These structures might include recurring refrains, parallelisms, or a chronological framework that provided a robust scaffolding for the vast amount of information. It's like a complex spreadsheet, but instead of rows and columns, it's organized by poetic verses and rhythmic cadences, and significantly more difficult to accidentally delete an entire section. The griot's memory was not just about recall, it was about connection. Their ability to link seemingly disparate events, to draw parallels between past and present, and to reveal the enduring patterns of human behavior was what made their storytelling so powerful and meaningful. They were the ultimate pattern recognition specialists, able to see the grand sweep of history and the intricate details that composed it, all at once. The spiritual dimension of the griot's role was also significant. Many believed that their ability to remember and transmit history was a divine gift, and that their voices were conduits for the ancestors themselves. This spiritual connection imbued their performances with an added layer of reverence and authority, making their words even more impactful. It's a humbling thought that the very act of remembering could be seen as a sacred duty, a direct link to the spiritual realm. As your mind drifts further from wakefulness, the gentle embrace of sleep becomes all-encompassing. You feel completely at ease, wrapped in the quiet stillness of the night. The stories have been told, the memories shared, and now it is time for true rest. Every muscle relaxes, every thought unwinds, and you sink peacefully into the deepest slumber. You are now in the gentle currents of deep sleep, the faint echo of the griot's kora a persistent, calming drone like the soft pulse of the earth itself. The stories, while no longer clear, have left an imprint of timelessness and connection, grounding you in a sense of ancient peace. This is the profound quiet that follows a grand narrative, where the mind, saturated with history, finds its true rest. Consider the societal function of gossip, particularly as perpetuated by griots. In a pre-literate society, gossip wasn't merely idle chatter. It was a crucial mechanism for social cohesion, for enforcing norms, and for understanding the intricate dynamics of power and relationships. Within a community, when a griot recounted a tale of a long-ago scandal, it served as a cautionary tale, a lesson in morality, or a reinforcement of who held what kind of influence. It was social media, but with actual consequences and much better historical accuracy than your average Twitter feed. The griot's memory was not merely a collection of isolated facts. It was a vast, interconnected narrative where every piece of information was linked to others, forming a cohesive whole. This interconnectedness aided recall, as one memory could trigger a cascade of related information. It's like a massive mental spiderweb, where touching one strand sends vibrations throughout the entire structure, illuminating countless other connections. And unlike your own brain, it never seems to forget where it left its keys. A mainstream historical fact: griots were often skilled improvisers, able to compose new praise songs or adapt existing narratives on the fly, depending on the circumstances or the presence of a specific individual. This ability showcased their mastery of language, rhythm, and their vast knowledge base, allowing them to tailor their performances for maximum impact. Imagine a freestyle rapper, but instead of battling, they're recounting the history of your ancestors, seamlessly weaving in your great-grandma's legendary culinary skills. A quirky tidbit: there's a theory that some griots would consciously induce a trance-like state during their longer performances to aid memory and maintain focus. This might involve specific breathing techniques, rhythmic movements, or even prolonged periods of vocalization that altered their state of consciousness, allowing them to access deeper mnemonic reserves. It's like ancient meditation for historical retention, potentially unlocking parts of the brain we rarely tap into. Just don't try it at home before your next big exam. The scholarly debate often delves into the economic and political power of griots. While seemingly just storytellers, their control over historical narratives gave them immense leverage. They could legitimize rulers, discredit rivals, and shape public opinion through their carefully crafted stories. Were they independent cultural figures, or were they tools of the ruling elite? The answer is likely complex, a blend of both, adapting to the shifting winds of power while maintaining their unique cultural role. It's like being a historian, a spin doctor, and a public relations manager all at once. You are floating on a warm, dark sea of tranquility. The worries of the day have completely receded, replaced by an encompassing sense of calm. The image of the West African night, the baobab trees, and the circle of listeners gently fades, leaving only the profound peace of deep sleep. The educational system of the griots was a model of intergenerational knowledge transfer. Young apprentices learned directly from their elders, often living with them and observing their every move. This intimate, hands-on approach ensured that not only the facts were transmitted, but also the nuanced performance techniques, the ethical responsibilities, and the deeper cultural significance of their role. It was truly a living university, with no tuition fees, but a lifetime commitment. The griot's memory was often organized thematically as well as chronologically. They might have specific folders in their minds for tales of war, tales of love, tales of cunning, or tales of great journeys. This thematic organization allowed them to quickly retrieve relevant stories for specific occasions, or to illustrate particular moral lessons. It's like having a mental tag system for all your historical data, making it incredibly easy to find just the right anecdote for any situation. The practice of callbacks was a powerful mnemonic device for griots. They would often weave references to earlier stories, characters, or events throughout their narratives, creating a rich tapestry of interconnected tales. This not only aided their own recall, but also helped the audience connect the dots and reinforce their understanding of the broader historical context. It's like a very sophisticated internal hyperlink system, where every mention of the great warrior Sundiata immediately brings up a mental highlight reel of his most epic battles. The prestige of a griot was immense. They were highly respected figures within their communities, often consulted for advice and revered for their wisdom. Their knowledge was considered a precious resource, vital for the community's identity and well-being. It's a far cry from how historians are sometimes viewed today. Imagine if your local historian was also the most popular person in town, with everyone hanging on their every word. The transmission of griotic knowledge was not just about passive reception. It involved active participation from the apprentice. They would be required to repeat sections, to improvise on themes, and to demonstrate their understanding through various exercises. This active learning approach ensured deep internalization of the material, moving it beyond mere surface-level memorization. It was a rigorous intellectual workout, designed to forge not just a good memory, but a truly profound understanding. As you drift into the deepest sleep, the very concept of time seems to dissolve. You are timeless, weightless, utterly at peace. The echoes of West African history have guided you to this tranquil place, a testament to the enduring power of stories to soothe, to teach, and to bring profound rest. Every breath is calm, every thought quiet, as you sink deeper and deeper into restorative slumber. You are enveloped in the profound stillness of deep sleep, the remnants of the griot's voice and the chora's melody, now a barely perceptible whisper, like the rustle of distant leaves. The vastness of West African history, once so vividly present, has transformed into a comforting backdrop for your dreams, a testament to the soothing power of ancient narratives. Think about the gossip aspect a little more closely. In many ways, the griots served as the historical record of private lives. While they chronicled grand events, they also maintained a detailed, albeit selective, record of the interpersonal relationships, alliances, rivalries, and even eccentricities of prominent individuals and families. This was vital for understanding social dynamics, forging new alliances, and avoiding past mistakes. It was the original people management system, powered by millennia of meticulously observed human behavior. You might say they were the world's first reality show producers, minus the camera crew and the dramatic confessionals. The griot's oral tradition wasn't just about the past, it was intensely relevant to the present. They used historical precedents to advise leaders, mediate disputes, and guide their communities through challenging times. Their knowledge was a practical tool, a compass for navigating the complexities of contemporary life. They were like living, breathing strategic consultants, but with much more dramatic flair and the ability to recall specific instances of poor decision-making from 10 generations ago. A mainstream historical fact is that the griot tradition predates the major West African empires, with evidence suggesting its existence in various forms for well over a millennium. While the empires provided a formalized structure and patronage, the fundamental role of the griot as a storyteller and cultural Arabic het, Arabic caliph, Arabic fa, Arabic thought, Hafiz, a memorizer of sacred texts, existed long before. It's like finding out that your favorite band actually started playing gigs in their garage long before they became famous. The roots run deep. A quirky tidbit: some griots were renowned for their ability to remember and recite highly detailed itineraries of ancient trade routes, including the types of goods exchanged, the dangers encountered, and the personalities of various merchants along the way. This knowledge was invaluable for guiding new generations of traders. It was like having a living, breathing GPS system, only it also came with entertaining historical anecdotes about past journeys and unfortunate encounters with particularly grumpy camels. The scholarly debate often questions the notion of ownership of these oral histories. While griots were the primary custodians, were the narratives truly theirs, or did they belong to the community as a whole? How did individual griots balance their unique interpretations and performance styles with the need to maintain the collective memory faithfully? It's a fascinating tension between individual artistry and communal responsibility, a bit like a band covering a classic song. They make it their own, but the core essence of the original must remain. You are now in a state of profound relaxation, your body heavy and warm, your mind completely at peace. The gentle rhythms of the night have woven themselves into the fabric of your sleep, providing a sense of security and calm. The mnemonic strategies employed by griots were often multi-layered, combining various techniques to reinforce memory. For instance, a particular historical event might be associated with a specific melody, a unique gesture, a recurring proverb, and a vivid mental image. This redundancy ensured that even if one memory cue faded, others would remain to trigger recall. It's like having multiple backup systems for your most precious data, ensuring nothing is ever truly lost. The oral nature of their history meant that it was a constant performance. Each retelling was an opportunity to breathe new life into the narratives, to adjust them for a new audience, and to ensure their continued relevance. This active engagement with the past kept it fresh and vibrant, preventing it from becoming a dusty, forgotten relic. It's like a play that's constantly being restaged, each performance adding new nuances and interpretations, but always retaining the timeless core. The training of a griot was not just about learning historical facts. It was about internalizing the entire cultural framework, including the nuances of social etiquette, diplomacy, and even appropriate humor. They had to be culturally fluent in every sense of the word, capable of navigating complex social situations with grace and wisdom. It was truly a comprehensive education in human relations, all delivered through the lens of historical narrative. The concept of a praise singer is central to the griot tradition. While they recounted history, they also celebrated the virtues and achievements of individuals and lineages, using poetic language and musical accompaniment to elevate their patrons. This praise singing was not just flattery, it was a powerful mechanism for reinforcing positive social behavior and inspiring future generations to uphold noble ideals. It was positive reinforcement on a grand, historical scale. The unique social position of griots sometimes meant they could act as social commentators, offering insights into societal problems or moral failings through their stories, often with a subtle, indirect approach. They could hold a mirror up to their society, prompting reflection and encouraging change, all without directly confronting power. It's a testament to the power of narrative to gently guide, rather than forcefully dictate societal evolution. As you drift into the deepest reaches of slumber, the soothing presence of the West African night envelops you. The ancient stories have done their work, calming your mind and comforting your spirit. You are completely relaxed, utterly at peace, as you sink deeper and deeper into the blissful embrace of sleep. You are now in a profound state of rest, the griot's voice a distant, harmonious hum, like the gentle vibration of a perfectly tuned string. The echoes of West African history have settled within you, not as distinct memories, but as a deep sense of connection to the flow of time and the enduring power of human narratives. This is the serenity that comes from being immersed in a tradition so ancient, so rich, that it transcends mere understanding and becomes pure feeling. Consider the role of emotional resonance in griotic memory. It wasn't just about dry facts. Griots often imbued their stories with powerful emotions: joy, sorrow, anger, triumph. These emotional anchors likely served as powerful mnemonic devices, making the stories more vivid and therefore more memorable, both for the griot and for the audience. It's like remembering a movie based on how it made you feel, rather than just reciting its plot points. And sometimes, those emotions were about the most scandalous bits, making them even stickier. The griot's performance wasn't just about telling a story. It was a holistic experience involving music, poetry, gesture, and often audience participation through call and response. This multisensory engagement further aided the memorization process, creating a rich tapestry of associations that reinforced the narrative. It's like learning by doing, seeing, hearing, and feeling all at once, making the historical facts almost impossible to forget. Far more effective than flashcards, wouldn't you agree? A mainstream historical fact is that the griots played a crucial role in legitimizing new rulers. When a new king ascended to power, the griot would often recite the monarch's glorious lineage, connecting them to legendary ancestors, and thus reinforcing their right to rule. This act of verbal legitimation was incredibly powerful in societies where oral tradition held supreme authority. Imagine needing a genealogist to approve your coronation. A lot more pressure than just getting a fancy crown. A quirky tidbit: some griots were believed to have specific spirit animals or totems that guided their memories and inspired their performances. These animals, often revered for their wisdom or cunning, were thought to imbue the griot with enhanced abilities, making their storytelling even more profound and captivating. So, if your griot suddenly started telling a story about a particularly clever spider, you knew it was going to be a good one, or at least one with an unexpected twist. The scholarly debate often addresses the question of whether griots were primarily historians or primarily artists. While their role clearly encompassed both, the emphasis could shift depending on the context and the individual griot. Were they striving for factual accuracy above all else, or was the artistic rendering of the past their primary goal? This tension highlights the unique nature of oral history, where the line between historical record and creative expression is often beautifully blurred. It's like asking if a famous chef is a scientist or an artist. They're both, and the magic happens in the blend. You are now sinking deeper into the soft comfort of your bed, the gentle hum of the fan a soothing pea. Resents the world outside fading into insignificance. The ancient stories have woven a protective cocoon around you, inviting only peaceful dreams. The hereditary nature of the griot profession meant that knowledge was passed down through generations within the family. This allowed for deep specialization and the accumulation of vast amounts of information over centuries, with each generation building upon the knowledge of the last. It was a cumulative memory, growing richer and more expansive with each passing era, a testament to the power of generational learning. No accidental deletion of the family archives here, just continuous augmentation. The griot's memory wasn't simply a repository of information. It was a carefully curated and organized system. They developed sophisticated internal classification schemes, allowing them to quickly retrieve specific narratives, lineages, or historical facts from their vast mental archives. This organizational prowess was as crucial as the raw memorization capacity itself. It's like having the most meticulously organized filing cabinet in the world, except it's all in your head, and you can access any file with a mere thought. The art of praise poetry was a vital component of griotic performance. These poetic compositions, often improvised, celebrated the virtues, achievements, and lineage of individuals, communities, or even abstract concepts like courage or wisdom. They were a powerful means of social reinforcement and inspiration, designed to encourage noble behavior and commemorate greatness. It was a verbal award ceremony, always in session, with the griot as the perpetual presenter. The griot served as a vital link between the past and the present, ensuring that the lessons of history were not forgotten. By constantly retelling the stories of ancestors, they provided a moral and social framework for contemporary life, guiding their communities through challenges and reinforcing their collective identity. They were the ultimate living legacy, ensuring that the past never truly passed away, but continued to resonate in the present. The reverence for the griot was deeply ingrained in West African society. They were seen as essential for the well-being of the community, holding the keys to its identity, its history, and its future. Their words carried immense weight and authority, shaping perceptions and influencing decisions. It's a powerful reminder of the profound impact that storytelling and memory can have on the very structure of a civilization. If only we valued our historians as much as a griot was valued. Imagine the wisdom we'd collectively possess. As your breathing deepens and slows, you are completely at peace. The final echoes of the griot's voice fade into the sweet silence of slumber. You are warm, safe, and utterly at rest, ready for a night of restorative dreams. You are now deeply immersed in the profound quiet of sleep, the faint, comforting memory of the chora's rhythm a gentle pulse, guiding you further into serene unconsciousness. The stories, once vibrant and detailed, have dissolved into a pervasive sense of ancient peace, a testament to the enduring power of history to soothe and ground the human spirit. Consider the role of the griot as a social conscience. Because they held the memory of past actions and their consequences, they could subtly, or sometimes not so subtly, remind individuals or leaders of their historical obligations or past mistakes. This made them powerful figures in maintaining social order and promoting justice. They were the ultimate accountability partners, with the added benefit of being able to recite your entire family's history of questionable decisions. The griot's memory was often linked to specific physical places or objects. Narratives might be associated with a particular tree, a river, a mountain, or even a specific artifact, creating a powerful spatial mnemonic system. This grounding of stories in the physical landscape further reinforced their memorability and relevance to the community. It's like having a mental map where every significant landmark triggers an entire historical narrative. Ah yes, that hill. That's where the great betrayal of the Yams occurred. A mainstream historical fact. Griots were not solely focused on kings and warriors. They also preserved the histories of common people, craftsmen, farmers, and women, offering a more complete and nuanced picture of past societies. This broader scope ensured that the historical record was more inclusive, acknowledging the contributions of all members of the community, not just the elite. They were the original people's historians, ensuring that no one was left out of the grand narrative, even if they just invented a really efficient way to grind millet. A quirky tidbit: some griots were said to have eidetic memory or photographic memory, able to recall intricate details of events or texts after only a single exposure. While difficult to prove, this belief added to their mystique and reverence, suggesting a truly extraordinary cognitive ability. Imagine being able to glance at a battle scene and then recite every single soldier's name, their last words, and what they had for breakfast. A bit intense for a morning recap, perhaps. The scholarly debate often centers on the practical methods of information transfer during griot training. How exactly was such a vast amount of complex information transmitted from master to apprentice? Was it primarily through direct dictation and repetition, or did it involve more sophisticated methods of guided learning, mnemonic exercises, and performance practice? The absence of written manuals means researchers must rely on ethnographic observations and careful deduction, piecing together the puzzle from various clues. It's like trying to reverse engineer a complex piece of ancient software without any documentation. You are floating, weightless, in a sea of perfect stillness. The gentle rise and fall of your breath is the only discernible movement, a soothing rhythm that guides you deeper into restful slumber. All tension has left your body, replaced by a profound sense of calm. The griot's voice carried immense authority because it was the voice of collective memory. When a griot spoke, it was not merely an individual opinion. It was the distilled wisdom and experience of generations, imbued with the weight of cultural tradition. This authority ensured that their words were heard, respected, and often acted upon. It's like getting advice from an entire ancestral committee, all speaking through one very articulate individual. The role of praise singing often extended to encouraging positive behavior and deterring negative actions within the community. A well-placed praise song could inspire heroism or generosity, while a subtle omission or a carefully worded criticism could gently nudge someone back towards accepted social norms. It was a powerful tool of social engineering, wielded with grace and precision. Remember that time your great uncle bravely shared his last gourd of water. A fine example for us all, unlike that other relative who, well, we don't speak of that. The griots were not only historians and musicians, but also masters of rhetoric and persuasion. Their ability to craft compelling narratives, to use vivid imagery, and to appeal to the emotions of their audience made their performances incredibly impactful. They understood the art of moving hearts and minds, a skill as vital for preserving history as raw memorization. It was storytelling as a form of social alchemy, transforming facts into shared understanding and collective action. The continuity of the griot tradition, despite centuries of external pressures, is a testament to its profound cultural importance and resilience. It has adapted to changing political landscapes, colonial influences, and modern technologies, yet its fundamental role as the living memory of West African societies endures. It's a remarkable example of cultural survival, a vibrant thread connecting the present to a deep and ancient past. The collective memory preserved by the griots provided a strong sense of identity and belonging for their communities. Knowing their shared history, their common ancestors, and their collective triumphs and struggles fostered a powerful sense of unity and purpose. It's a reminder that a shared past is a fundamental building block of a strong community, providing roots and a sense of shared destiny. As you sink into the final depths of sleep, the gentle, comforting silence of the night embraces you fully. You are utterly at peace, your mind clear, your body relaxed. The journey through history has reached its tranquil end, leaving you refreshed and ready for a night of deep, restorative slumber. You are now comfortably settled into the deep, restorative currents of sleep. The vibrant tapestry of West African history, woven by the griot's voice, has softened into a gentle, colorful background for your dreams, hinting at ancient wisdom and the quiet strength of enduring memory. This is the serenity of a mind that has wandered through time and found its way home to profound rest. Consider the notion of historical ownership in oral traditions. Unlike written histories, which are often attributed to a single author, griotic narratives were communal property, shared and shaped by generations of griots and their audiences. While each griot had their unique style, the core narratives belonged to the collective, fostering a powerful sense of shared heritage. It's like a beloved folk song that everyone knows, but each singer adds their own interpretation, making it forever new yet always familiar. You could say it's history by committee, but a very talented and harmonious committee. The role of the griot wasn't static. It evolved with the needs of their societies. While originally focused on praise, singing, and genealogy, their functions expanded to include diplomacy, mediation, and even serving as advisors in times of crisis. This adaptability ensured their continued relevance and prestige across centuries, demonstrating their capacity to meet the changing demands of their communities. They were the ultimate utility players, always ready to step into whatever role the historical moment required. A mainstream historical fact: the kora, the instrument so central to griotic performance, is a unique West African harp flute, distinct from instruments found elsewhere in the world. Its construction and playing style are deeply intertwined with the oral tradition, serving not just as accompaniment but as a mnemonic aid and a powerful emotional conduit for the stories. It's truly a marvel of ancient musical engineering, designed to bring history to life. A quirky tidbit: some griots were said to have special incantations or rhythmic phrases that, when recited, could instantly bring to mind a vast swathe of historical data. These were like mental shortcuts, opening floodgates of memory with just a few carefully chosen words. Imagine having a magic word that unlocks an entire historical era in your brain. Your history exams would be a breeze, provided you could hum the right tune. The scholarly debate often grapples with the issue of how accurate these oral histories could possibly be over centuries of transmission without written verification. While the concept of factual accuracy differs from modern historiography, researchers highlight the internal consistency, mnemonic devices, and communal oversight that helped maintain a remarkable degree of fidelity within the griotic tradition. It's like trying to verify a story that's been told around 1,000 campfires. While details might vary, the core narrative and its meaning often remain remarkably consistent. You are now drifting deeper into the blissful embrace of sleep, your body heavy and warm, your mind completely at peace. The distant sounds of the night, a gentle breeze, the chirping of crickets, form a soft lullaby, inviting you to deeper rest. The training of a griot instilled not only mastery of memory, but also profound wisdom and ethical responsibility. They understood that their words had power, and that history was not just a collection of facts, but a living force that shaped destinies. This ethical dimension was as crucial as any memorization technique. They were historians with a conscience, acutely aware of the weight their narratives carried. The sensory details used by griots in their narratives played a vital role in memory retention. Describing the sights, sounds, smells, and textures of past events made the stories more vivid and immersive, helping both the griot and the audience to experience the history rather than just hear about it. It's like a mental virtual reality experience, where the past is brought to life through the power of evocative language. You could almost feel the dust under your feet. The importance of audience engagement cannot be overstated in griotic performance. The call and response elements, the direct addresses to listeners, and the tailored narratives all serve to keep the audience actively involved, making them participants in the historical transmission rather than passive recipients. This interactive element likely also aided the griot's memory, as the audience's reactions could serve as subtle cues or reinforcements. It was a truly communal act of remembering, a shared journey through time. The role of griots in preserving genealogies was absolutely vital. In societies where lineage determined status, rights, and responsibilities, a griot's accurate recitation of family trees was paramount. They were the human databases of kinship, ensuring that everyone knew their place and their connections within the intricate social web. Imagine needing a griot to approve your marriage because they needed to verify your spouse's ancestral purity. A bit more complicated than just checking their dating profile. The resilience of the griot tradition is truly remarkable. Despite the disruptions of colonialism, the introduction of written language, and the pressures of modernization, griots continue to practice their ancient art. This persistence speaks to the profound human need for stories, for connection to the past, and for the wisdom that only a living historical tradition can provide. They are enduring proof that some knowledge is best kept not in books, but in the heart and mind. As you sink deeper into the embrace of sleep, the gentle silence of the night wraps around you like a soft blanket. The echoes of West African history have guided you to this tranquil place, leaving you completely relaxed, utterly at peace, and ready for the deepest, most restorative slumber. You are now nestled deeply within the quiet sanctuary of sleep, the faint reverberation of the griot's kora, a comforting hum in the background of your consciousness. Like the distant, rhythmic breath of the earth itself, the journey through ancient West African history has calmed your mind, leaving a profound sense of peace and a subtle awareness of the timeless flow of human experience. Consider the griot's role as cultural arbitrators. Because they possessed such a vast and detailed knowledge of historical precedents, lineages, and communal laws, they were often called upon to mediate disputes, both large and small. Their ability to contextualize current conflicts within the broader sweep of history gave their rulings immense authority and often led to peaceful resolutions. They were the original Supreme Court justices, but with significantly more captivating opening statements and a musical score. The gossip preserved by griots wasn't just idle chatter. It was often highly functional information. Knowing about a historical rivalry between two families or a past instance of treachery could be crucial for navigating alliances, trade negotiations, or even marriage arrangements. It was the historical equivalent of a detailed background check, ensuring that everyone understood the hidden currents and past entanglements that shaped present relationships. And probably a lot more accurate than a quick social media scroll. A mainstream historical fact: griots were often itinerant, traveling from village to village and court to court, sharing their stories and collecting new ones. This mobility allowed them to disseminate information and maintain a broad network of historical knowledge across vast geographical areas. They were the original roving reporters and cultural influencers, bringing news and history to diverse communities. Imagine a news anchor who also knew every single detail about the local king's great-great-grandmother. A quirky tidbit: some griots were said to have special listening practices, where they would train themselves to absorb and retain every single word spoken in a conversation, even casual chatter. This was not just about politeness. It was about continuously collecting raw material for future narratives, spotting potential historical tidbits or crucial social dynamics. So the next time you're having a casual chat, remember there might be an ancient griot in spirit, mentally archiving every single word you say. Better be careful what you reveal. The scholarly debate often delves into the question of how much the introduction of Islam and Arabic literacy impacted the griot tradition. While Arabic script brought new forms of record keeping, the oral tradition of the griots persisted, often adapting and incorporating Islamic narratives into their existing repertoire. Was it a challenge to their primacy, or an opportunity for enrichment and evolution? The answer, as always, is probably both, showcasing the resilience and adaptability of the griotic tradition. You are now sinking deeper into the soft embrace of your bed, feeling completely at ease. The gentle hum of the fan and the distant sounds of the night merge into a peaceful symphony, lulling you further into profound rest. The griot's mental organization system was incredibly sophisticated. They often used a branching structure, like a family tree, to organize their historical data. Each branch represented a lineage, a dynasty, or a significant historical event, with further subdivisions for specific individuals, battles, or anecdotes. This hierarchical organization allowed for rapid retrieval of specific information, even from a vast database. It was a non-linear mental map, far more complex than a simple chronological list. The physical act of performance was crucial to the griot's memory. The rhythm of the kora, the cadence of their voice, and the specific gestures they used during storytelling all served as powerful mnemonic cues, reinforcing the narrative in their minds. The physical and mental aspects of their art were inextricably linked, creating a holistic memory system. It's like realizing that your dance moves are actually helping you remember your shopping list, only on a much grander scale. The moral lessons embedded in griotic narratives were not always overt. They were often subtly woven into the fabric of the story, allowing the audience to draw their own conclusions. This subtle approach made the lessons more powerful and memorable, encouraging reflection rather than simply dictating behavior. It was teaching through allegory, a gentle guide rather than a stern lecture, always leading to a deeper understanding of human nature and societal norms. The The prestige and authority of a griot were not solely derived from their memory. They also came from their wisdom and their ability to interpret history in a meaningful way for their communities. They were seen as sagacious figures, capable of offering profound insights into the human condition based on centuries of recorded human experience. They were philosophers of the past, using narratives to illuminate the present. The concept of collective memory is beautifully exemplified by the griot tradition. It is not just individuals remembering. It is an entire community participating in the act of remembrance, reinforcing shared narratives, and building a common understanding of their past. This collective engagement ensures the longevity and vitality of the historical tradition. It's like a giant, communal brain, constantly sharing, updating, and reinforcing its vast store of knowledge, making it robust against individual loss. As you sink into the final, profound depths of sleep, the gentle quiet of the night wraps around you completely. You are utterly at peace, your mind clear, your body relaxed. The journey through history has reached its tranquil end, leaving you refreshed and ready for a night of deep, restorative slumber. You are now profoundly asleep, nestled in the comforting quiet, the gentle echo of West African history a distant, soothing hum in your subconscious. The vibrant stories have settled, leaving a deep sense of connection to ancient wisdom and the enduring flow of time. This is the peace that comes from a mind that has journeyed far and wide, now returning to the calm harbor of deep rest. Consider the subtle power of omission in griotic storytelling. A griot might choose not to recount certain details or even entire narratives, either to protect the honor of a patron, to avoid reigniting old feuds, or to guide the audience towards a particular moral lesson. This deliberate silence was as powerful as their eloquent narratives, shaping the historical record through careful curation. It's like a master editor, knowing that what you leave out can sometimes speak volumes louder than what you include. A very intentional silence indeed. The resilience of the griot tradition in the face of colonial rule is a testament to its profound cultural importance. Despite attempts to suppress indigenous cultures and replace them with European models, the griots persevered, continuing to transmit their histories and traditions orally, often in secret. They became guardians of a threatened heritage, their voices a quiet act of resistance against cultural erasure. They were the ultimate cultural insurgents, keeping their history alive under the very noses of those who sought to dismantle it. A mainstream historical fact: the Epic of Sundiata Keita, the founder of the Mali Empire, is one of the most famous and extensively preserved griotic narratives. It tells the story of Sundiata's struggles, his exile, and his eventual triumph in uniting various Mandinka clans to form a powerful empire. This epic serves as a foundational text for understanding the history and values of the Mali people, passed down for centuries by griots. It's like their equivalent of the Odyssey or the Aeneid, only with more emphasis on agricultural innovation and less on disgruntled gods. A quirky tidbit: some griots had specific memory rituals they would perform before a long performance, perhaps involving special foods, specific meditations, or even rhythmic hand gestures to unlock their mental archives. These rituals were believed to enhance their recall and ensure a flawless performance. So, if you saw a griot doing some unusual stretches before a big recital, they weren't warming up for a dance number. They were priming their brain for centuries of data retrieval. The scholarly debate often addresses the issue of regional variations in griotic traditions. While the core role of the griot is consistent across West Africa, the specific narratives, musical styles, and social functions can vary significantly from one ethnic group or region to another. How do scholars account for these regional differences while still understanding the overarching commonalities of the tradition? It's like trying to understand the diversity of global cuisine while still recognizing that every culture has a unique approach to feeding its people. Deliciously complex. You are utterly at peace, sinking deeper into the soft comfort of your bed. The very air around you feels calm and still, a perfect environment for uninterrupted rest. The journey through time has brought you to this place of profound tranquility. The mnemonic techniques employed by griots were often dynamic and multisensory, involving the use of visual cues, auditory patterns, kinesthetic movements, and even emotional associations. This integrated approach to memory ensured that information was encoded in multiple ways, making it more robust and resistant to forgetting. It's like having a mental filing system with color-coded labels, audio tags, and tactile reminders, making everything instantly searchable. And much harder to lose track of that one family reunion photo. The apprenticeship of a young griot was a meticulous and gradual process. They would begin by learning shorter praise songs and genealogies, gradually progressing to more complex historical narratives and epic poems. This incremental learning approach allowed them to build a solid foundation of knowledge and skill before tackling the vast repertoire of their masters. It was a scaffolded learning experience, building confidence and competence step by careful step. The griot's role as a moral guide was deeply embedded in their storytelling. Through parables, cautionary tales, and examples of heroic virtue, they subtly conveyed ethical principles and reinforced societal norms. Their narratives weren't just about what happened. They were about what it meant to be human, to be good, and to live in harmony with one's community. They were the original self-help gurus, but their advice came wrapped in epic poetry and millennia of wisdom. The economic support for griot often came from patronage by wealthy families or rulers, who recognized the immense value of having their histories preserved and celebrated. This symbiotic relationship ensured the continuation of the tradition, providing griots with the means to dedicate their lives to their craft. It was a unique form of historical funding, a reciprocal exchange of prestige for preservation. The griot tradition is a powerful reminder that history is not just about facts and dates. It is about stories and the human need to tell and hear them. It highlights the enduring power of narrative to shape identity, transmit knowledge, and connect generations across vast stretches of time. It's a beautiful testament to the resilience of the human spirit and its innate desire to understand where it comes from. As you sink into the final, profound depths of sleep, the gentle quiet of the night wraps around you completely. You are utterly at peace, your mind clear, your body relaxed. The journey through history has reached its tranquil end, leaving you refreshed and ready for a night of deep, restorative slumber. You are now in the deepest, most peaceful state of sleep, completely enveloped in tranquility. The echoes of the griot's voice and the gentle thrum of the kora have faded into a soothing, almost imperceptible hum in your subconscious, a subtle reminder of the vast, ancient tapestry of West African history that has guided you to this profound rest. Consider the griot's unique position of being both inside and outside the power structures. While they served kings and nobles, their role as custodians of memory also gave them a degree of independence. They could, through their narratives, subtly critique authority or remind leaders of their responsibilities to the people. This delicate balance made them powerful, yet often respected, figures capable of influencing events through the sheer weight of historical precedent. It's like being the court jester who also happens to know everyone's deepest secrets and can recite them in rhyming couplets. A rather influential jester, indeed. The role of praise singing by griots wasn't just about flattery. It was a sophisticated art form that reinforced social hierarchy, celebrated virtues, and motivated individuals to uphold the values of their community. By singing someone's praises, the griot was not just acknowledging their past achievements, but also setting a standard for future conduct, subtly encouraging noble behavior. It was positive reinforcement on a grand, public, and highly melodious scale, and probably more effective than a participation trophy. A mainstream historical fact, griots often served as living oral encyclopedias of traditional knowledge, encompassing not only history and genealogy, but also knowledge of medicinal plants, diplomatic protocols, and agricultural practices. Their vast repertoire made them invaluable resources for their communities, consulted on a wide range of issues beyond just historical recall. They were the original knowledge brokers, connecting various fields of wisdom through the power of their memory. A quirky tidbit: some griots were believed to have the ability to remember every single dream they had, and would sometimes weave elements of these dreams into their storytelling, blurring the lines between personal experience, collective history, and mystical insight. Imagine if your dreams were not just random subconscious wanderings, but a rich source of historical inspiration, allowing you to access new narratives from the ether. Perhaps that's where some of the more eccentric historical details came from. The scholarly debate often centers on the precise mechanisms by which memory was cultivated and sustained within griot families. Was it purely through oral transmission, or were there hidden forms of symbolic notation or other mnemonic aids that have been lost to history? The absence of a written manual for griotic training leaves much to speculation and careful ethnographic observation. It's like trying to learn a secret family recipe without ever seeing it written down, only through observation and repeated attempts, passed down from generation to generation. You are now completely relaxed. Why? Our body heavy and warm, sinking deeper into the soft comfort of your bed. The gentle sounds of the night, barely perceptible, guide you into the profound quiet of slumber. The structure of griotic narratives was often highly formulaic, using recurring phrases, parallelisms, and rhythmic patterns that aided memorization and recall. These structures provided a robust framework upon which the vast amount of historical detail could be hung, making it easier to retrieve specific information on demand. It's like a very sophisticated system of mental bullet points and headings, ensuring that every piece of information has its rightful place. The importance of the griot's voice cannot be overstated. Their vocal delivery, including tone, pitch, volume, and rhythm, was as crucial to the performance as the words themselves. They were masters of vocal artistry, capable of captivating audiences for hours on end through the sheer power and expressiveness of their voice. It's a reminder that truly impactful storytelling isn't just about what you say, but how you say it. The concept of a living archive perfectly encapsulates the griot tradition. Unlike static written records, the griot's memory was dynamic, constantly being refreshed, reinterpreted, and adapted for new audiences and changing circumstances. This living quality ensured the continued relevance and vitality of their historical tradition, preventing it from becoming a dusty relic of the past. It's a history that breathes, adapts, and continues to evolve, rather than being fixed in time. The griot's role in promoting social cohesion was immense. By sharing common stories, celebrating shared heroes, and recounting shared struggles, they reinforced a powerful sense of collective identity and belonging within their communities. Their narratives served as a unifying force, reminding everyone of their shared heritage and common destiny. It was community building through storytelling, a deeply effective and enduring method. The respect and reverence shown to griots were profound. They were seen not just as entertainers, but as wise elders, custodians of vital knowledge, and spiritual conduits to the ancestors. Their words held immense weight, and their presence commanded respect, reflecting the deep cultural value placed on memory and tradition. Imagine being held in such high esteem simply for remembering your history. Perhaps a lesson for us all about valuing our past. As you sink into the final, profound depths of sleep, the gentle quiet of the night wraps around you completely. You are utterly at peace, your mind clear, your body relaxed. The journey through history has reached its tranquil end, leaving you refreshed and ready for a night of deep, restorative slumber. You are now in the gentle, boundless expanse of deep sleep, the faint, reassuring hum of the griot's kora, a soft pulse in the background of your tranquil mind. The intricate tapestry of West African history has settled into a profound sense of peaceful wisdom, guiding you further into the quiet depths of restorative slumber. This is the serenity found in the ancient echoes of human experience, now a gentle lullaby. Consider the role of humor in griotic performances. While their narratives were often serious and profound, griots also used humor, wit, and playful banter to engage their audiences, lighten the mood, and make their stories more memorable. A well-placed joke or a satirical aside could break the tension, emphasize a point, or subtly critique a character's flaws. It's like watching a historical drama that also has surprisingly good comedic timing, ensuring you're always entertained while you're learning, and perhaps even chuckling at ancient follies. The griot's memory wasn't a solitary endeavor. It was a collective memory, reinforced and maintained by a network of griots across regions and generations. They would share stories, compare versions, and learn from one another, ensuring the continuity and robustness of the oral tradition. This collaborative aspect strengthened the memory, making it far more resilient than any individual's recall. It was a distributed database, powered by human connection and shared purpose. A mainstream historical fact: griots were often instrumental in preserving the cultural heritage of their communities during periods of significant upheaval, such as wars, migrations, or colonial rule. By continuing to tell their stories, they provided a vital link to the past, helping their people maintain their identity and resilience in the face of immense change. They were cultural anchors in a storm, holding onto the precious threads of memory when everything else threatened to unravel. A quirky tidbit: some griots would compose riddles of history, intricate puzzles woven into their narratives that listeners had to decipher by recalling specific historical details. This interactive element not only engaged the audience, but also served as a subtle test of their own historical knowledge, reinforcing the communal aspect of memory. Imagine a historical scavenger hunt, but instead of finding physical objects, you're searching your mind for hidden clues within ancient epic poems. The scholarly debate often concerns the influence of other cultural traditions on the development of the griot tradition. Did trade routes, religious exchanges, or migratory patterns introduce new narrative forms or mnemonic techniques that shaped the griot's art? Untangling these influences requires careful cross-cultural analysis, revealing the complex interconnectedness of human history and cultural exchange. It's like trying to trace the origins of a culinary dish that's been influenced by various global flavors. The original essence remains, but it's been enriched by countless interactions. You are completely at ease, sinking deeper into the soft comfort of your bed. The gentle hum of the fan and the distant sounds of the night merge into a peaceful symphony, guiding you further into the profound quiet of slumber. The mnemonic strategies used by griots were highly adaptable, allowing for customization to individual learning styles and the specific demands of particular narratives. Some griots might prefer visual mental maps, others auditory rhythmic cues, and still others a combination of sensory inputs. This flexibility made the system robust and efficient, catering to the diverse cognitive strengths within the griot lineage. It was truly personalized education on a grand scale. The training of a griot was a holistic experience, encompassing not only intellectual memorization, but also the development of character, wisdom, and ethical judgment. They were taught to understand the profound responsibility of their role and to use their knowledge for the betterment of their communities. It was an education for life, not just for a profession, shaping individuals who were not only knowledgeable but also wise and virtuous. The narrative structure of griotic epics often involved recurring themes and archetypes, such as the hero's journey, the triumph of good over evil, or the consequences of greed. These universal themes made the stories resonate deeply with audiences across generations and cultures, reinforcing timeless human truths. It's a reminder that even ancient tales speak to fundamental aspects of the human experience, making them eternally relevant. The griot's role as an entertainer was essential for the sustainability of their tradition. By making history engaging, captivating, and even humorous, they ensured that audiences remained invested in the narratives, fostering a continuous demand for their performances. Without the artistry and entertainment value, the historical knowledge might have faded into obscurity. They were the original edutainers, proving that learning doesn't have to be dull. The importance of the collective memory preserved by griot extended to fostering a sense of shared destiny. By understanding their common past, communities could better face future challenges, drawing strength and wisdom from the experiences of their ancestors. It was a powerful form of historical solidarity, uniting people across generations through the threads of shared stories and legacies. As you sink into the final, profound depths of sleep, the gentle quiet of the night wraps around you completely. You are utterly at peace, your mind clear, your body relaxed. The journey through history has reached its tranquil end, leaving you refreshed and ready for a night of deep, restorative slumber. You are now in the deepest, most serene embrace of sleep, the echoes of the griot's kora and voice having faded into a soft, almost imperceptible whisper in the profound quiet of your mind. The rich tapestry of West African history now rests gently within you, a comforting presence that has guided you to this tranquil, restorative slumber. This is the ultimate peace found in knowing that ancient stories continue to live, even as you drift away. Consider the griot's role as guardians of tradition and social etiquette. Beyond history and genealogy, griots also preserved and disseminated knowledge about proper social conduct, ceremonial protocols, and the intricate web of relationships that govern daily life. Their narratives often included examples of good and bad behavior, reinforcing the communal norms. It was like having a living instruction manual for how to be a good citizen, interspersed with epic tales of glory and occasional ancient faux pas. The concept of gossip in griotic tradition extended to preserving records of alliances, betrayals, and even the subtle power plays between families and individuals. This detailed social intelligence was vital for navigating complex political landscapes and maintaining stability within communities. It was the original social network analysis, meticulously compiled and recited, providing a crucial understanding of who was connected to whom and why, and sometimes who really didn't like whom, and why that was still relevant centuries later. A mainstream historical fact. The griot tradition has deep roots in the ancient empires of Ghana, Mali, and Songhai, serving as central figures in the courts of powerful rulers, and playing a key role in the administration and historical record-keeping of these vast civilizations. Their presence was a testament to the importance placed on oral tradition and the power of memory in these highly organized societies. They were essentially the royal archivists, but with much better fashion sense and singing voices. A quirky tidbit. Some griots were renowned for their ability to perfectly mimic the voices and mannerisms of historical figures during their performances, bringing the characters to life with astonishing realism. This added a captivating layer of immersion to their storytelling, making the audience feel as though they were truly hearing the ancestors speak. Imagine a historical impersonator who could switch between a solemn king and a mischievous commoner with uncanny accuracy, all while playing the kora. The scholarly debate often considers the impact of the transatlantic slave trade on the griot tradition. How did the forced migration of millions of West Africans affect the continuity of these oral histories? And did elements of griotic storytelling survive in the diaspora? This complex question highlights the resilience of cultural memory in the face of unimaginable trauma and displacement, with scholars seeking connections and echoes of the tradition in African diasporic cultures. It's a somber but important question of how culture persists, even in the most brutal of circumstances. You are completely at ease, sinking deeper into the soft comfort of your bed. The gentle hum of the fan and the distant sounds of the night merge into a peaceful symphony, guiding you further into the profound quiet of slumber. The mnemonic strategies used by griot were often highly personal and evolved over decades of practice. While there were common principles, each griot developed their unique methods for encoding and retrieving information, drawing on their individual cognitive strengths and preferences. This bespoke approach to memory training ensured maximum efficiency and robustness, a truly individualized curriculum for historical retention. The apprenticeship of a griot was an immersive, multifaceted process that went far beyond mere rote memorization. It included developing deep listening skills, a keen observation of human behavior, an understanding of social dynamics, and mastery of musical instruments and vocal delivery. It was a complete education in the art of human communication and cultural preservation, far more comprehensive than any formal schooling. The oral nature of griotic history meant that it was constantly being reinterpreted and recontextualized for new audiences and changing times. This dynamism prevented the history from becoming stagnant, ensuring its continued relevance and vitality in shaping contemporary understanding. It was a living, breathing historical narrative, constantly adapting while retaining its core truths. The griot's role as a cultural unifier was paramount. By sharing common stories of origin, triumph, and struggle, they forged a powerful sense of collective identity and shared heritage among diverse communities. Their narratives served as a foundational narrative for their people, providing a sense of belonging and continuity across generations. The deep respect accorded to griots reflected the profound value placed on memory and history in West African societies. Their knowledge was considered a sacred trust, vital for the well-being and continuity of the community. This reverence highlights a worldview where the past is not a separate entity, but an active, living force that constantly shapes the present. As you sink into the final, profound depths of sleep, the gentle quiet of the night wraps around you completely. You are utterly at peace, your mind clear, your body relaxed. The journey through history has reached its tranquil end, leaving you refreshed and ready for a night of deep, restorative slumber. You are now in the gentle, encompassing embrace of deep sleep, the faint, lingering impression of the griot's voice, and the kora, a subtle, harmonious presence in your subconscious. The vibrant echoes of West African history have settled into a profound sense of ancient peace, guiding you ever deeper into the quietude of restorative slumber. This is the serenity of a mind that has been enriched by timeless narratives, now finding its quiet and complete repose. Consider the power of the griot's oral contract. In societies without widespread literacy, a griot's word, when speaking of historical agreements or lineages, was considered legally binding. Their memory served as the ultimate record, solidifying alliances, arbitrating disputes, and validating claims. It was the original blockchain, but instead of complex algorithms, it was powered by the sheer force of human memory and collective trust, and probably significantly less volatile than cryptocurrency. The gossip element of griotic tradition also served as a form of historical checks and balances. By remembering and recounting instances of moral failing or tyrannical behavior, griots could subtly, or sometimes not so subtly, remind rulers and powerful individuals of the consequences of their actions and the importance of upholding justice. It was a powerful social pressure, ensuring that even the most powerful individuals were accountable to the long memory of their people. A mainstream historical fact, griots often served as repositories of specialized knowledge related to specific crafts or professions. For instance, a griot might remember the lineage of blacksmiths, their secret techniques, or the historical origins of certain tools. This interdisciplinary knowledge made them invaluable resources for passing on not just historical narratives, but practical, vocational wisdom. They were the original trade school instructors, but they taught through epic poetry and song. A quirky tidbit: some griots would consciously use palindromic phrases or narratives, phrases that read the same forwards and backward, or stories that mirrored themselves as a mnemonic device. This intricate linguistic play not only demonstrated their verbal mastery, but also aided in the recall of complex sequences, creating a beautiful symmetry within their mental archives. Imagine trying to compose an entire historical epic where every other sentence was a palindrome. Your brain would probably spontaneously combust. The scholarly debate sometimes focuses on the extent to which the griot tradition influenced other forms of artistic expression in West Africa, such as dance, sculpture, or textile art. Did the narratives and themes perpetuated by griots inspire visual artists? And how did these different art forms interact to create a rich cultural tapestry? Exploring these connections reveals the holistic nature of West African artistic traditions, where storytelling was often a catalyst for creativity across various mediums. It's a beautiful web of interconnected creativity, all stemming from the power of the spoken word. You are completely at ease, sinking deeper into the soft comfort of your bed. The gentle hum of the fan and the distant sounds of the night merge into a peaceful symphony, guiding you further into the profound quiet of slumber. The griot's memory was not static but dynamic, constantly being updated and expanded. As new events unfolded, new leaders emerged and new generations were born. The griots integrated these developments into their existing historical framework, ensuring that their narratives remained current and relevant. It was a living, breathing historical database, always growing and adapting. No software updates required, just continuous human integration. The apprenticeship of a griot instilled a profound understanding of the interconnectedness of all things: history, genealogy, music, social customs, and spiritual beliefs. They learned to see the world as a seamless whole, where every element was linked to every other, creating a holistic worldview that informed their storytelling and their role in the community. It was a masterclass in systems thinking, long before the term was ever invented. The oral tradition of the griots relied heavily on the active participation of the audience. Call and response patterns, communal singing, and shared laughter or tears all served to reinforce the narratives and embed them more deeply in the collective memory. It was a truly interactive learning experience, a shared journey through the past that strengthened communal bonds. The symbolic power of the kora extended beyond its musical function. It was often seen as a sacred instrument, embodying the spirit of the griot and serving as a conduit to the ancestral realm. Its melodies were not just accompaniment, they were prayers, praises, and mnemonic aids, intertwining sound and meaning in a profound way. It was an instrument that didn't just play music, it literally sang history. The griot's unique social position meant they were often seen as living embodiments of their people's history and identity. Their very presence was a reminder of the past, a living link to the ancestors, and a testament to the enduring strength of their cultural heritage. They were revered figures, walking libraries, and powerful symbols of continuity. As you sink into the final, profound depths of sleep, the gentle quiet of the night wraps around you completely. You are utterly at peace, your mind clear, your body relaxed. The journey through history has reached its tranquil end, leaving you refreshed and ready for a night of deep, restorative slumber. You are now in the deepest, most serene embrace of sleep, the faint comforting whisper of the griot's voice, and the gentle hum of the kora having completely dissolved into the profound quiet of your mind. The rich, intricate tapestry of West African history has settled into a sense of ancient peace, guiding you ever deeper into the tranquil depths of restorative slumber. This is the complete repose that follows a truly immersive journey through time, leaving you utterly at peace. Consider the sheer psychological resilience required to be a griot, to carry the weight of centuries of history, triumphs, tragedies, and secrets, and to be able to recount them on demand with emotional resonance and factual accuracy, demands an extraordinary level of mental fortitude and emotional balance. It's like being a historian, a therapist, and a public speaker all rolled into one, always on call, always prepared to delve into the deepest recesses of the past. No off days when history calls. The gossip aspect, while often lighthearted, could also serve as a subtle form of historical justice. By keeping alive the memory of those who acted unjustly or brought shame upon their lineage, griots ensured that such actions were not forgotten, serving as a cautionary tale for future generations. It was a long-term form of accountability, ensuring that reputations, good and bad, echoed through the centuries. You might say it was the original cancel culture, but with much slower Wi-Fi and a more poetic delivery. A mainstream historical fact. Griots often played a significant role in diplomatic relations between different kingdoms and communities. Their encyclopedic knowledge of genealogies, historical treaties, and past alliances made them indispensable negotiators, capable of finding common ground or highlighting historical precedents to secure peace. They were the original mediators, armed with centuries of historical data to help bridge divides. Imagine a diplomat who could also sing you the entire lineage of both negotiating parties. Hard to argue with that. A quirky tidbit. Some griots would practice their memory by trying to perfectly recall every single sound they heard during a day, from the rustle of leaves to the distant cries of animals, and then attempt to recreate them vocally. This intense auditory training not only sharpened their memory, but also enhanced their ability to paint vivid soundscapes in their storytelling. So, if you heard a griot suddenly make a perfect imitation of a guinea fowl, they weren't just showing off, they were demonstrating their mnemonic prowess. The scholarly debate often delves into the degree of historical agency griots possessed. Were they merely conduits for existing narratives, or did they actively shape and reinterpret history in significant ways? This question touches upon the delicate balance between tradition and innovation within oral cultures, and the ways in which individual creativity can both preserve and transform collective memory. It's like asking if a musician simply plays the notes, or if they truly infuse the music with their own soul and interpretation. You are completely at ease, sinking deeper into the soft comfort of your bed. The gentle hum of the fan and the distant sounds of the night merge into a peaceful symphony, guiding you further into the profound quiet of slumber. The mnemonic techniques used by griots were deeply ingrained in their cultural practices and worldview. They understood memory not as a separate cognitive function, but as an integral part of their identity and their connection to the ancestral realm. This holistic approach to memory made their retention capabilities truly extraordinary. It was a way of life, not just a set of tricks. The apprenticeship of a griot involved not just learning the stories, but also understanding the ethical responsibilities that came with carrying such immense knowledge. They were taught to use their power wisely, to promote harmony, and to uphold justice, ensuring that their narratives served the greater good of the community. It was an education in moral leadership, deeply rooted in the historical experiences of their people. The oral transmission of history created a dynamic and responsive historical record. Unlike static written texts, griotic narratives could be adapted to address contemporary issues, offering timely lessons and guidance from the past. This flexibility ensured their continued relevance and utility to their communities, making history a living, breathing resource. The griot's artistry in storytelling was paramount. Their ability to weave intricate plots, develop compelling characters, and use vivid descriptive language made their narratives not just informative but truly captivating. This artistic mastery was essential for keeping audiences engaged and ensuring the long-term survival of their oral tradition. They were the original masters of narrative engagement, making sure history was never, ever boring. The profound respect and honor shown to griots underscored the foundational importance of memory in their societies. Their role transcended mere entertainment. They were seen as essential for the cultural, social, and spiritual well-being of the community. It's a powerful reminder of how much value can be placed on shared history and collective remembrance. As you sink into the final, profound depths of sleep, the gentle quiet of the night wraps around you completely. You are utterly at peace, your mind clear, your body relaxed. The journey through history has reached its tranquil end, leaving you refreshed and ready for a night of deep, restorative slumber. You are now in the deepest, most profound state of sleep, completely enveloped in tranquility. The echoes of the griot's voice and the gentle thrum of the kora have completely faded into a soothing, almost imperceptible hum in your subconscious, a subtle reminder of the vast, ancient tapestry of West African history that has guided you to this profound rest. This is the complete repose that follows a truly immersive journey through time, leaving you utterly at peace. Consider the idea of historical consensus in oral traditions. While individual griots might have had their unique interpretations, there was a shared understanding of core historical facts and narratives that was maintained through generations of communal transmission and cross-referencing between griots. This ongoing dialogue and collective memory ensured a remarkable degree of consistency in their historical record. It's like a decentralized, peer-reviewed historical database, where the peers are highly trained, incredibly talented storytellers. The gossip aspect of griotic history could also serve as a powerful tool for social control. By remembering and recounting instances of societal transgression or family dishonor, griots could subtly enforce communal norms and discourage behavior that threatened social cohesion. It was a powerful, unspoken warning, a gentle reminder that the long memory of the community would not forget. A historical side-eye that carried centuries of weight. A mainstream historical fact, griots often acted as praise singers for various deities and spirits, invoking them in their narratives and ceremonies. This spiritual dimension of their role underscored the deep connection between history, culture, and religious belief in West African societies. Their storytelling was not just about human events. It was about the cosmic order and humanity's place within it. They were the ultimate bards of both the earthly and the divine. A quirky tidbit: some griots were said to possess a form of auditory memory, so acute that they could instantly recall complex musical compositions or lengthy spoken passages after hearing them only once. This extraordinary gift allowed them to rapidly expand their repertoire and incorporate new information into their vast mental archives. Imagine being able to listen to an entire opera once and then perfectly reproduce every note and every lyric. A truly mind-boggling talent. The scholarly debate often centers on the tension between the conservative nature of oral tradition, the need to preserve faithfully, and its dynamic nature, the capacity for adaptation and change. How do griots balance the imperative to maintain historical fidelity with the need to make narratives relevant to contemporary audiences? This constant negotiation between tradition and innovation is a hallmark of enduring oral cultures. It's like a classic piece of music that's been passed down for centuries, where each generation finds new ways to interpret and perform it, while still honoring the original composition. You are completely at ease, sinking deeper into the soft comfort of your bed. The gentle hum of the fan and the distant sounds of the night merge into a peaceful symphony, guiding you further into the profound quiet of slumber. The mnemonic strategies employed by griots were often intertwined with their physical environment and daily lives. Certain paths, trees, or geographical features might be associated with specific historical events or narratives, creating a living map of memory embedded in the landscape itself. This fusion of memory and place made the history not just a mental construct, but a tangible part of their world. The apprenticeship of a griot was a profound exercise in observation and imitation. Young apprentices would spend countless hours observing their masters, absorbing not only the words and melodies, but also the subtle gestures, vocal inflections, and emotional nuances that brought the stories to life. It was learning by osmosis, a deep immersion in the art of storytelling that went beyond formal instruction. The oral transmission of history ensured that it was a deeply communal and participatory experience. The stories were not just recounted, they were shared, discussed, and collectively reinforced by the audience, who often had their own knowledge and memories to count. Tribute. This communal engagement ensured the vibrancy and continued relevance of the historical tradition. It was a collective act of remembering, a shared intellectual and emotional journey. The griot's instrument, the kora, was more than just a musical accompaniment. It was an integral part of the memory system itself. Specific melodies or chord progressions might be associated with particular narratives or individuals, serving as powerful auditory cues for recall. The music and the words were inextricably linked, forming a unified whole that enhanced both memorization and performance. The enduring legacy of the griot tradition highlights the incredible power of the human mind to preserve and transmit knowledge across generations, even in the absence of written records. It's a testament to the fundamental human need for stories, for connection to the past, and for the wisdom that only a living historical tradition can provide. They are a powerful reminder that the most sophisticated technology for memory might just be the human brain itself, when nurtured and cultivated through ancient practices. As you sink into the final, profound depths of sleep, the gentle quiet of the night wraps around you completely. You are utterly at peace, your mind clear, your body relaxed. The journey through history has reached its tranquil end, leaving you refreshed and ready for a night of deep, restorative slumber. You are now in the deepest, most blissful state of sleep, completely enveloped in the profound quiet. The last echoes of the griot's voice and the gentle thrum of the kora have faded into an almost imperceptible hum in your subconscious, a subtle reminder of the vast, ancient tapestry of West African history that has guided you to this profound rest. This is the complete and utter repose that follows a truly immersive journey through time, leaving you utterly at peace and steeped in the tranquility of ancient memory. Consider the future of the griot tradition. In a world increasingly dominated by digital information and instant gratification, what role will these ancient oral traditions play? While challenges certainly exist, the enduring human need for authentic storytelling, for connection to roots, and for wisdom passed down through generations suggests that the griot tradition, in various forms, will continue to adapt and thrive, perhaps even finding new audiences hungry for its unique blend of history, music, and wisdom. It's a testament to the resilience of true cultural heritage, always finding a way to persist. The gossip preserved by griots wasn't just about sensationalism. It was about the nuanced understanding of human character and motivation. By recounting the intricate details of personal relationships, rivalries, and moments of weakness or strength, they provided a rich psychological portrait of their ancestors, offering profound insights into the human condition that transcended mere historical facts. It was depth psychology, filtered through centuries of observed human behavior. And perhaps a few whispered secrets from ancient family gatherings. A mainstream historical fact: Griots often utilize specific gestures, body language, and even facial expressions as mnemonic aids, and to enhance the emotional impact of their storytelling. Their performances were highly physical, engaging the entire body in the act of remembrance and transmission. This multimodal approach made the stories incredibly immersive and memorable, both for the griot and for the audience. They were truly performance artists before the term was even invented. A quirky tidbit: some griots were said to be able to hear the stories of the past in the wind or in the rustling of the leaves, believing that the very landscape held the memories of previous generations. This mystical connection to their environment infused their narratives with a deep sense of place and spiritual resonance. So, the next time you hear the wind whisper, perhaps it's not just the breeze. It's an ancient griot, reminding you of a story lost to time. The scholarly debate frequently examines the challenges of translating oral traditions into written form. How do you capture the nuances of performance, the subtle mnemonic cues, the improvisational elements, and the living, breathing nature of griotic history when you commit it to static text? This is a fundamental challenge for ethnographers and historians, requiring careful consideration of how to represent a dynamic, multi-sensory experience in a linear, textual format. It's like trying to capture the essence of a live concert in a written transcript. Some magic is inevitably lost in translation. You are completely at ease, sinking deeper into the soft comfort of your bed. The gentle hum of the fan and the distant sounds of the night merge into a peaceful symphony, guiding you further into the profound quiet of slumber. The mnemonic strategies of griots were often designed to leverage the brain's natural capacity for pattern recognition. By organizing information into rhythmic, poetic, or thematic patterns, they made it easier for the mind to process, store, and retrieve vast amounts of data. It was an intuitive approach to memory, working with the brain's inherent strengths rather than against them. A truly brilliant piece of ancient cognitive engineering. The apprenticeship of a griot was a journey of profound personal transformation. It wasn't just about acquiring knowledge. It was about becoming a living embodiment of their culture, a bridge between the past and the present, and a guardian of collective memory. This deep personal investment made their performances not just informative but deeply authentic and emotionally resonant. The oral tradition of the griots provided a powerful antidote to historical amnesia. In the absence of written records, their continuous retelling of narratives ensured that the past remained alive, informing the present and guiding the future. They were the ultimate preservers of memory, ensuring that generations would never forget where they came from. The griot's role as an inspiration was significant. By recounting tales of heroism, perseverance, and wisdom, they motivated their communities to strive for greatness, to overcome challenges, and to uphold noble ideals. Their stories were not just about what happened. They were about what was possible, inspiring future generations to add their own chapters to the grand narrative. The profound respect and honor shown to griots continue to this day, even as modern influences spread. This enduring reverence is a testament to the timeless value of their role in preserving cultural identity, transmitting knowledge, and connecting people to their roots. They are a powerful reminder that in a world awash with fleeting information, some things are truly worth remembering and passing on, heart to heart, generation to generation. As you sink into the final, profound depths of sleep, the gentle quiet of the night wraps around you completely. You are utterly at peace, your mind clear, your body relaxed. The journey through history has reached its tranquil end, leaving you refreshed and ready for a night of deep, restorative slumber. So, as the last echoes of these ancient stories gently fade, allow yourself to drift even deeper into the stillness of the night. Imagine the vast, starry sky above you, stretching infinitely, just as the history you've explored tonight stretches back through countless generations. There's a quiet strength in knowing that even as you rest, the echoes of these memories, these vibrant tales of West Africa, continue to live on, carried by the wind, woven into the very fabric of time. Let any lingering thoughts from the day simply dissolve, like wisps of smoke disappearing into the cool night air. Feel the softness of your pillow, the comforting weight of your blanket, and the steady, peaceful rhythm of your own breathing. You are safe, completely secure, and utterly at peace. The journey through the history of the griots has brought you to this calm harbor, a place where your mind can truly unwind and find profound rest. There's nothing more to do, nowhere else to be. Just gentle, effortless sleep. Allow your eyelids to feel heavy, your muscles to relax completely, from the tips of your toes to the crown of your head. Release any tension, any tightness, and simply surrender to the overwhelming wave of calm that washes over you. The ancient wisdom you've encountered tonight has settled deeply within you, a quiet comfort that will stay with you even as you dream. Sleep now, deeply and peacefully, knowing that you are connected to a timeless narrative, and that the quiet strength of memory is your gentle companion. Good night.